Under the dazzling lights of Hollywood's golden age, movie stars captivated millions of hearts worldwide. They emerged from the screen with stunning beauty, elegant demeanor, and an aura that drew everyone's attention. Just one name on a poster was enough to fill theaters with eager audiences. But behind that seemingly perfect facade lay surprising real-life stories, hidden aspects, unspoken struggles, and little-known truths about their lives off-screen. It is these pieces that create a complete portrait. Both brilliant on screen and deeply human in real life. What will you think when you discover the secrets behind that glamour? If you found this content interesting, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next fascinating stories. In this video, we'll explore the little-known aspects of 11 legendary actresses from Hollywood's golden age. On screen, they appeared as icons of beauty and talent, always shining in every frame and leaving a lasting impression on audiences. But behind those iconic roles lie real-life stories that not everyone knows, beyond the glamour and public admiration. Each of them faced immense pressure in the film industry of that era. There are stories of sacrifices, challenges in their work, and the mental and physical difficulties they had to overcome throughout their careers. However, most of these are often only revealed in small amounts, or obscured by the glamorous image they project to the public. In reality, what audiences see on screen is only a very small part of the truth. Behind the scenes lies a complex system of production and image building, where each star strives to maintain their position in a fiercely competitive environment. Many behind-the-scenes stories reveal that fame isn't solely due to talent, but is the result of a complex web of interwoven factors that outsiders may not fully understand. So what really happens behind the scenes? What creates the difference between their on-screen personas and their real-life personalities? In the following section, we'll delve deeper into these little-known stories, and you might even reconsider the cinematic icons you once admired. Keep watching to not miss any more fascinating details behind Hollywood, and if you find this content engaging, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel to support us in future videos. Tallulah Bankhead was once considered an icon of rebellion and individuality in the entertainment world. With her distinctive husky voice, bold lifestyle, and confident pronouncements, she quickly became one of Hollywood's most attention-grabbing figures. In an era where many artists had to conform to strict molds, Bankhead stood out for her free spirit and willingness to break the rules. This made her a unique figure in the public eye and a representative of strength and independence. However, behind this captivating image, there was considerable controversy surrounding her behavior towards those around her. According to many accounts from behind-the-scenes staff and colleagues who worked with her, Bankhead was said to have a volatile temperament and often created a tense atmosphere during filming. Some sources even claim she made disrespectful remarks to crew members and service staff, making her real-life image far more complicated than her glamorous public persona. Many colleagues have shared that working with Bankhead was sometimes a difficult experience due to her impulsive nature and volatile emotions. In some behind-the-scenes stories recounted over the years, she is described as quick-tempered and prone to strong reactions if she feels dissatisfied or underappreciated. While many anecdotes may have been exaggerated over time, they still contribute to the image of a star who is both captivating and contradictory. Notably, for many years, Hollywood has cultivated the image of Bankhead as a rebellious and seductive woman, turning her strong personality and controversial actions into a unique part of her brand. Media campaigns at the time often focused on Bankhead's uniqueness and boldness, while negative reflections on her behavior behind the scenes were rarely mentioned publicly. This illustrates how the entertainment industry once controlled artists' images to maintain public appeal. Tallulah Bankhead's story, therefore, not only reflects the glitz and glamour of classic Hollywood, but also reveals the vast gap between the media image and the real-life persona. Behind the free-spirited, strong and charismatic exterior lies a highly controversial figure, giving today's public a more multifaceted view of the iconic figures of Hollywood's golden age. Joan Fontaine was once considered the embodiment of gentle and refined beauty in classic Hollywood. Through her famous roles in films like Rebecca and Suspicion, she left her mark with a fragile, elegant, and emotionally expressive image. Unlike many actresses who stood out for their powerful allure, Joan Fontaine captivated audiences with her softness and ability to portray inner emotions, making her one of the most beloved faces of the golden age of cinema. However, behind that gentle exterior lay a tense relationship between Fontaine and her younger sister, Olivia de Havilland. The rivalry between the two sisters has long been one of Hollywood's most famous stories. According to many sources and accounts from close friends, this relationship was not simply a professional rivalry, but extended into their personal lives, causing the distance between them to grow over time. Many behind-the-scenes stories suggest that Fontaine and de Havilland frequently competed professionally, especially as they both worked in the high-pressure, high-profile world of film. Some sources claim Joan Fontaine publicly expressed her disagreements with her sister, while Hollywood media at the time paid particular attention to any tension between them. This made their sisterly relationship a subject of public curiosity for many years. Over time, Hollywood and entertainment media transformed the rivalry between the two sisters into part of Hollywood legend, sometimes portraying it as a dramatic and captivating story rather than a strained family relationship. The personal disagreements and complex emotions behind the scenes were often reduced to entertaining stories for the public, leaving many deeper aspects of their relationship largely overlooked. Joan Fontaine's Oscar win for her role in Suspicion further fueled the rivalry between the two sisters in Hollywood history. For the public, it was a moment that affirmed her talent, but behind that glamour lay a family relationship fraught with conflict that lasted for years. Joan Fontaine's story, therefore, not only reflects the fame and success of classic Hollywood, but also reveals the dark side of fame where pressure, competition, and media attention sometimes complicate even the closest relationships. Hedy Lamarr was once considered the perfect embodiment of beauty and intelligence in the world of Hollywood. With her striking looks and captivating aura, she quickly became one of the most famous actresses of the golden age of cinema. But behind that glamorous image, Hedy Lamarr possessed an extraordinary intellect that astonished many. Along with composer George Antheil, she participated in the development of frequency-hopping transmission technology, a crucial foundation that paved the way for many modern technologies such as Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and GPS today. This made her an icon of independent, talented women who transcended the prejudices of her time. However, Hedy Lamarr's life and legacy also contain many complex aspects, although often referred to as a genius ahead of her time. Her later years were marked by considerable personal hardship. Some sources indicate that Lamarr was involved in numerous controversies regarding her behavior and unstable mental state. Those who worked with her described the environment as sometimes quite stressful, especially as the pressures of age, fame, and isolation increasingly affected her mental health, alongside the praise for her talent and intellect. Many stories offer a different perspective on Hedy Lamarr's true self outside the spotlight. Some believe she was aloof and often reacted harshly in everyday situations. However, according to many researchers of classic Hollywood, these behaviors also reflected the harsh pressures that stars of that era faced during their years under the public and media scrutiny. Over time, Hedy Lamarr's image gradually re-evaluated as an icon of a talented woman who was once judged primarily by her appearance. Many modern documentaries and articles focus on celebrating her scientific contributions, while portraying her as an inspiring figure. However, some argue that in rebuilding that image, many complex aspects of her personal life have been simplified to create a more admirable public persona. Hedy Lamarr's story is therefore not just the journey of a famous actress or a talented inventor. but also reflects the contrast between her public image and the real life behind fame. Behind the legendary beauty and remarkable achievements lies a highly emotional person who has experienced many upheavals and pressures. This makes her life both admirable and thought-provoking regarding the price of fame in the Hollywood world. Marlene Dietrich has long been considered an icon of boldness and unconventionality in Hollywood history. With her fashion sense that defied traditional norms and her captivating aura, she quickly became a role model for the modern, independent woman who wasn't afraid to challenge societal rules. Beyond her screen presence, Marlene Dietrich was admired for her strong personality and clear stances on many political, cultural, and personal freedom issues topics that were quite sensitive during her artistic career. This very unconventionality helped Dietrich become one of the most influential figures in the entertainment industry at the time. Her image is often associated with freedom, glamour, and a pioneering spirit. However, behind this glamour, there were also numerous rumors and controversies surrounding how she used her influence in her professional relationships. According to several memoirs and accounts from those who worked in the entertainment industry, Dietrich was said to have a very strong personality and often put a lot of pressure on those around her. Some sources even claim that she sometimes behaved in a way that made young actors feel stressed or judged harshly in the workplace. In addition, many who interacted with her described Dietrich as a perfectionist, demanding, and not easily satisfied, especially in her work and personal relationships. What complicates Marlene Dietrich's story is the contrast between her public image and the behind-the-scenes accounts of her personality. While the public saw her as an icon of progress and personal freedom, some who worked closely with her claimed that she sometimes displayed strong control and a rather cold demeanor in many situations. Although most of these stories remain anecdotal and unverified, they contribute to a multifaceted image of one of Hollywood's most iconic classics. Over time, Hollywood and the media continued to portray Marlene Dietrich as a model of a woman beyond her time, an artist who dared to live differently and wasn't afraid to defy societal norms. However, like many other great stars of the Golden Age, her real life and personality contained far more complex layers than the perfect image the public saw on screen. Joan Crawford was once considered the perfect embodiment of success and elegance during Hollywood's Golden Age. From humble beginnings to becoming an Oscar winner, she was admired by the public as the embodiment of the American dream, a strong woman who rose to prominence through ambition and talent. In the media, Crawford always appeared impeccably dressed, elegant, and especially as a devoted mother to her adopted children. Family photos often portrayed a life full of love and perfection, leading many to believe she was the ideal Hollywood woman of the time. However, after many years, that image began to cause controversy when her adopted daughter Christina Crawford's memoir, Mommy Dearest, was published. In the book, Christina recounts her stressful childhood with her famous mother, describing Joan Crawford as overly strict and having a parenting style that left her feeling emotionally and mentally hurt. Some details in the memoir caused a public uproar, particularly the stories about tantrums and the controlling nature of her family. While the accuracy of the book remains debated, it significantly altered public perception of Joan Crawford. One of the most frequently mentioned details is the story involving metal clothes hangers, which became symbolic of the painful memories Christina recounted. According to the memoir, Crawford was particularly perfectionistic and easily angered by even the smallest things in daily life. These stories created a stark contrast between the image of a gentle mother portrayed in the media and the personal experiences described in the book. Throughout Joan Crawford's career, major Hollywood studios consistently strived to build and protect her public image. When rumors surfaced about her strict personality or private life, the media at the time often portrayed Crawford as a disciplined and perfectionist woman to maintain her star appeal. This shows how Hollywood at that time had a very strong ability to control the image of artists. causing the public to only see the most glamorous aspects of their lives behind the screen. Joan O'Crawford's story, therefore, is not only about the fame or power of a Hollywood star, but also reflects the gap between the image built for the public and the real-life experiences behind closed doors. While the truth may still be viewed from many different perspectives, the story still makes many people reflect on the pressure of fame and how Hollywood once created almost perfect images in the public eye. Bette Davis has long been considered an icon of strength and individuality in Hollywood history. With her sharp acting style and fearless attitude, she was renowned as a woman who fought to protect her position and voice in an industry heavily influenced by male power. Her spirited dialogue and fierce on-screen personas made Bette Davis a representative of independent, strong-willed women who wouldn't easily succumb to pressure. However, behind that powerful image lay many behind-the-scenes stories that gave the public a more multifaceted view of her true self. According to some colleagues and those who worked in the industry, Davis was known for being extremely competitive and always wanting to stand out in film projects. Many anecdotes suggest that she was often very sensitive to the appearance of younger actresses, or those considered more likely to attract attention than herself on screen. Some sources on classic Hollywood films also indicate that Bette Davis paid particular attention to her appearance in each scene. At one point, she was rumored to have heavily influenced the production process, from camera angles to lighting, to ensure her image always stood out. While many of these stories are difficult to fully verify, they contributed to her reputation as an ambitious and extremely determined actress. What makes Bette Davis's story noteworthy is the contrast between her image as a woman fighting against the Hollywood system and the controversies surrounding her competitive relationships with other female colleagues. While the public sees her as a symbol of resilience and independence, some argue that Davis also reflected the harsh environment of Hollywood, the time where stars had to constantly compete to maintain their position and fame. Over time, Hollywood and the media have contributed to building the image of Bette Davis as a powerful, bold legend who never accepted defeat. Her decisive actions are often interpreted as manifestations of her career ambition and strong personality. However, Bette Davis's story also shows that behind the glamour of famous icons, there are always many layers of complex personalities, sometimes very different from the image the public has believed in for years. Veronica Lake was once one of Hollywood's most iconic beauties. With her legendary peekaboo hair and the mysterious charm characteristic of film noir, her appearance on screen quickly created a special allure, making Veronica Lake a beloved beauty icon during a golden age of American cinema. With her cool yet captivating demeanor, she not only made her mark with her appearance, but also with her unique acting style, contributing to the image of a mesmerizing Hollywood star of the past. However, behind the spotlight and her famous roles, Veronica Lake's personal life was marked by many upheavals and difficulties. The final years of her career were marked by mental health issues, the pressures of fame, and a prolonged alcohol addiction. The image of a star once at the peak of her career gradually gave way to a story of isolation, financial hardship, and personal tragedies that left many feeling regretful. According to several memoirs and accounts from those who worked with her, Veronica Lake often experienced emotional instability during difficult times and sometimes appeared inappropriate on set. Some sources suggest she had conflicts with crew members and colleagues during filming, particularly during periods of personal crisis. While not all stories are fully verified, they contribute to a complex image of a once-beloved star. Notably, over time, Hollywood and the media have often highlighted Veronica Lake as a symbol of ill-fated talent, a woman caught in the whirlwind of fame and gradually losing herself. Many stories about her life are told with a tragic and sympathetic tone, focusing on her mental breakdown and the pressures of the entertainment industry. However, Some argue that this portrayal sometimes leads the public to see only the pitiable aspects of the story, overlooking the controversies surrounding her behavior and conduct in real life. Veronica Lake's story thus clearly reflects the dark side of Hollywood's golden age, where glamour and tragedy often go hand in hand. Behind the captivating beauty that once charmed the world was a woman struggling with pressure, loneliness, and the upheavals of her personal life. This makes her life one of the most emotionally resonant and thought-provoking stories of classic Hollywood. With her signature curly hair and radiant smile, Shirley Temple became a symbol of joy and optimism during a difficult period for America, when audiences needed something bright to lift their spirits. The image of this talented young girl on screen brought hope and warmth to millions. Not only did she possess innate acting talent, Shirley Temple also made her mark as one of the most famous child stars in Hollywood history. As an adult, she continued to pursue art before transitioning to diplomacy and social activism. However, behind the perfect image that the public once admired, there are many less discussed aspects. Some argue that in many periods of Hollywood history, influential figures often chose to remain silent on sensitive issues within the industry to protect the overall image of the entertainment world. This makes Shirley Temple's story far more complex than the familiar image she portrayed on screen. In her memoir, Temple shared some unforgettable experiences from her time as a child actress. She mentioned an incident that garnered significant public attention at the time, when a person in a position of authority in the industry behaved inappropriately towards her when she was very young. What made many people think was not only the incident itself, but also the way she recounted it with a rather calm demeanor, as if such things were considered unavoidable in the entertainment industry at the time. This story partly reflects the dark side of Hollywood's golden age, where the glamorous image often obscured the pressures and unspoken experiences behind the scenes. Many experts later argued that the film industry at that time placed great emphasis on protecting the reputations of studios and stars, leading to many issues being kept secret for extended periods. This created a huge gap between the public's perception and the reality behind the scenes. Shirley Temple's story, therefore, is not just about fame or popularity from a young age, but also prompts much reflection on how the entertainment industry operated in the past. Behind the beloved American girl image is a person who has gone through many pressures and experiences that the public rarely knows about. It also serves as a reminder that behind the glitz and glamour of Hollywood, there are always stories far more complex than what appears on screen. Jean Harlow was once considered one of Hollywood's most prominent beauty icons of the 1930s, with her signature platinum blonde hair, captivating aura, and daring style rarely seen at the time. She quickly became a top-tier star in American cinema. Although her career was short-lived, Jean Harlow left a strong impression on audiences and is considered a pioneering role model for the blonde blockbuster image that followed. Her sudden death at such a young age has left her image associated with tragedy and regret. In the public eye, she is often remembered as a fated a young woman who lived under the harsh pressures of the entertainment industry and never had the chance to fully realize her potential. However, behind that glamorous facade and alluring image, many behind-the-scenes stories reveal a different, highly competitive side of Hollywood at that time. According to several sources and accounts from industry insiders, Jean Harlow was considered very ambitious and understood the workings of the film world. In an environment where actresses constantly competed for prominence, she was said to be quite astute in protecting her image and public appeal. Some anecdotes suggest that Harlow was sometimes involved in subtle conflicts with her female colleagues, especially as the competition for roles and fame became increasingly fierce. Some behind-the-scenes stories also reveal that Hollywood at that time was not only a place of glamour, but also a high-pressure environment where stars had to constantly maintain their position through various strategies. While much information surrounding Harlow remains controversial or unverified. It contributes to reflecting the intense competitive atmosphere behind the glitz and glamour of classic Hollywood. After Jean Harlow's death, her image gradually became an icon of fragile beauty and a short, tragic life. Hollywood and the media focused heavily on her brilliant career and tragic fate, turning Harlow into a legend remembered by the public for decades. However, like many other stars of the Golden Age, Jean Harlow's story also shows that behind the spotlight, there are always hidden aspects far more complex than the perfect image audiences saw on screen. Zsa Zsa Gabor has long been considered an icon of glamour, allure, and drama in the world of Hollywood. With her striking lifestyle, attention-grabbing marriages, and confident conversational style, she quickly cultivated an unmistakable image of a glamorous lady. Her distinctive voice, elegant demeanor, and strong personality made Zsa Zsa Gabor a constant media draw, even when she didn't appear on screen frequently. Unlike many other stars who strive to maintain a serious image, Zsa Zsa transformed her ostentatious behavior and controversial situations into a part of her personal brand. The public often saw her as a humorous diva with a colorful lifestyle, where every action was entertaining and unpredictable. This is what helped her maintain her appeal for many years in the entertainment industry. However, behind that glamorous image, there were also numerous controversies surrounding her behavior and personal life. One of the most attention-grabbing incidents was her encounter with law enforcement in Beverly Hills, which garnered significant media coverage in the US for an extended period. Instead of avoiding the issue, Zsa Zsa Gabor turned it into a public topic and even used the public attention as part of her image-building strategy. This demonstrates her deep understanding of media dynamics and her ability to maintain public prominence. Furthermore, over the years, some of her former colleagues have shared negative accounts of her work environment and behind-the-scenes conduct. There have also been controversies surrounding finances and business partnerships. However, in the eyes of many fans, these stories are often seen as part of her strong personality and unconventional lifestyle, rather than serious issues requiring deeper scrutiny. Zsa Zsa Gabor's story perfectly illustrates how Hollywood can turn personal controversies into a source of celebrity appeal. Behind the glamorous and colorful diva image lies a contradictory figure, both captivating and controversial. It also shows that in the entertainment world, the line between the public image and the true self behind the spotlight is sometimes far more complex than what the audience sees. Greta Garbo has long been considered one of the most mysterious and captivating icons of classic Hollywood. With her cool beauty, elegant demeanor, and private life, she quickly became the epitome of the ice queen in the public eye. Unlike many stars of her time, Garbo almost entirely avoided promotional activities and rarely shared her personal life with the media. This silence only made her image more special, creating an inexplicable allure for audiences worldwide. However, behind that calm and mysterious exterior, many behind-the-scenes stories reveal another side of Greta Garbo's personality. According to some who worked with her, she was known to be quite reserved, difficult to approach, and sometimes created tension for those around her. Several assistants and crew members described Garbo as a perfectionist, with a tendency to offer sharp criticism, sometimes making the work environment tense. Many sources from that era suggest that Garbo was particularly sensitive to being disturbed or having her privacy invaded. This led her to often keep her distance from others and rarely allow anyone to get too close to her personal life. While some saw this as a manifestation of solitude and the pressures of fame, others perceived her as cold and difficult to connect with in daily interactions. It's noteworthy that Hollywood was very successful in building Greta Garbo's image as a mysterious artist, completely different from the rest of the entertainment industry. Her reticence was transformed by the media into a symbol of artistic depth and independent personality. In the public eye, Garbo represented a woman who didn't chase glamour but chose to live her own way. However, some also argue that this aloofness inadvertently obscured many complex aspects of her true personality behind the screen. Greta Garbo's story thus clearly reflects Hollywood's power in creating myths for movie stars. Behind the captivating Ice Queen image lies a contradictory person, both lonely and unpredictable, admired yet distant from many. It is these qualities that have made Garbo one of the most mysterious and intriguing characters in classic Hollywood history. These stories surrounding 11 Hollywood stars reveal a vast gap between the glamorous image the public sees and the complex reality behind the spotlight. On screen, they are icons of timeless beauty, elegance, and talent. But behind the classic films and dazzling promotional campaigns lie countless stories of fame pressure. Strained relationships, personal controversies, and the rarely discussed dark side of the entertainment industry during its golden age. It's noteworthy that Hollywood established an extremely tight image management system very early on. Scandals, controversies, or controversial behavior were often downplayed, manipulated, or transformed into part of the star's legends. Some fiery personalities were portrayed as strength, rebellious actions became symbols of personal freedom. And fierce behind-the-scenes competition was sometimes embellished by the media into dramatic stories to attract public attention. These stories also illustrate how Hollywood history is often remembered selectively. Many viewers adore celebrities so much that they only want to remember their beauty and glamour, rather than confronting the complex hidden aspects of their real lives. Therefore, over time, many figures have been idealized into almost perfect icons, even though their real lives were sometimes full of contradictions and pressures. The influence of this image-building approach remains strong in the modern entertainment industry. Although Hollywood has changed considerably, media strategies, selective interviews, carefully controlled images, and personal branding still play a crucial role in celebrity culture. Social media allows audiences to feel they understand their idols better. But much of what is shared is still carefully curated images aimed creating a sense of closeness and authenticity for the public. Therefore, the stories of these Hollywood legends are not simply behind-the-scenes anecdotes. It also reflects how the entertainment industry builds image, how the public perceives celebrities, and how fame can obscure many complex aspects of a person's true self. These stars are both cultural icons and individuals living under the immense pressure of fame and societal expectations. No matter how much you love or admire them, perhaps the most important thing is to view these famous figures from a more multifaceted perspective, not just through their glamorous on-screen images, but also through the stories behind the scenes, because sometimes it is these hidden aspects that reveal just how complex Hollywood truly is. How do you feel after hearing these stories? Are there any details about the Hollywood legends you once admired that surprised you the most? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want to discover more interesting stories behind the Hollywood silver screen, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next content. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.